This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 912. I am Brian Kilby. Radio Free Cybertron is the world's first and oldest toy and action figure podcast since 1999. With me this week, we have Chris.
Hello.
Chris is first. Rob.
Thank you.
Hello.
Matt.
Hello.
John.
Yo.
Don.
Hello.
And Diecast.
I'm glad you went to me last because I have some thoughts on last week's episode that you can let me talk about whenever you want.
Do it now.
Okay. I love you guys, but I think you're wrong on the Power of the Prime stuff because I think as a Transformers collector, to get the opportunity to get all 13 primes is awesome. They're going to display together on my shelf. And I will agree that the one prime that turns into like basically Ironhide with 2 extra wheels is a little underwhelming, but they're not going to be on my shelf in vehicle mode.
So if you like it, you win.
So what you're referring to is the fact that most of us said we're not super jazzed about Power of the Primes. Or not Power of the Primes, the
Age of the Primes.
Age of the Primes. Power of the Primes.
I may have said the same
thing. Power of the Primes was 2017.
Yeah. So Age of the Primes upcoming. But you know what?
I understand the confusion though. Yeah.
But the thing is, for the most part, it will be new characters in toy form. I'm all for that. I just don't care so much about the primes, but I'll live with it.
Yeah. I do. I think it's going to be neat. I because we've always heard about the 13 primes going through the mythos.
Well, we haven't always. Years. We've heard about it for about 12 years.
Yeah. So for a while now, and to be able to get the 13 primes in toy form that are not going to be in vehicle mode on my shelf, they're going to be in robot mode. I'm stoked for that.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
I'm happy for you.
I'm certainly on board for ones that jump out at me and look cool just on their own merits.
Yeah, I'll get Leash Maximo and the Fallen.
Yeah, the Fallen looks great.
What if you're missing 3 out of the 13? You only have 10 primes. It's incomplete. It's not like.
Well, the thing is though, this subgroup of characters is so nebulous that you don't really know who they are other than a name and a vague one-line information from the books and stuff. So if you're not complete, are you really missing anything? Because they're really not.
Like Leash Maximo predates the 13 primes.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I just want a Leash Maximo toy, I can just get a Leash Maximo toy.
To put what Don's saying in different words, if it's not complete, as far as it's complete for you, who cares?
Exactly. You don't need all 13 if 4 of them are copy-paste pastiches of stuff that you got.
Don said pastiche. I love that.
Of better versions.
He pronounced it correctly.
He did.
I used to have a vocabulary before I worked retail my entire life.
Almost a show title.
You do have a vocabulary, Don. I'm not going to take that away from you. You have a very extensive vocabulary. You just get your vowel sounds, your consonants. You get stuff reversed here and there, and it just kind of detracts.
Or he pronounces L's. He pronounces L's in salmon. I love that.
And even Transformers 1 dealt with the 13 primes. I just think it's a really smart idea to do the 13 primes. Maybe that's just the geek in me.
Well, it does fill a niche of, we know this stuff exists, but we don't have anything concrete other than they exist.
And you know what? And you know what? Toy lines and like the subsequent meta fiction around them is there to fill in like gaps, and hopefully they'll do that. Hey, but you know what?
And I'm sure there are a lot of other people that are excited about it too, Diecast. Just unfortunately, you weren't here last week, and the rest of us did not feel the same.
tfradio.net/911. If you haven't listened to last week's episode, see what Diecast is talking about.
Yeah. But other than that, the show was great.
Yeah. I just want to see some interesting. Whenever I think of the 13, I think of the Studio Series Fallen toy. That is just this mashed up conglomeration. It's a Cybertronian.
We can think Revenge of the Fallen for that more.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to see Cybertronian stuff that actually looks like something and is not explained away by it's an alien Winnebago. It doesn't have to look like.
So I want to move on because we're going along on this.
So, Brian, it's the first week of December. What's notable about this point in time right now?
The edit point because I'm going somewhere else. So, so I want to move on. It's not the topic of discussion this week, but I do want to point out real quick that at tfradio.net/discord, Captain Rufus said, also, I'm down with Primal Prime being made one of the 13 too, by the way. It'd be 14, but I am completely for that. But you know what? It's December 4th, 2024. We have about a week left in our Toys for Tots / Elf on a Shelf Warmer promotion or campaign. That's what we decided what this is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important. It's very important. There's so many kids out there that are just not going to get something or very much at all this holiday season. So my uncle actually founded the local children's home here where I live. And I volunteered there and I worked there. And I saw firsthand just how destitute so many kids are. I saw kids come in and get like the first clean clothes they've ever had. Or somebody tucked them in at, for bed for the first time in their lives. There's so many kids out there, untold stories, kids that we don't know, we don't see, but exist. And their parents either can't help, can't support them, give them what they need, or they don't want to in some cases, and there's a system in place for taking care of those kids. But there's so many kids out there who really need the generosity of someone like you or me. So please, absolutely please, pick up a toy, drop it in a drop box, and change a kid's life. It seems like a really small gesture, but for a kid who's going to get nothing this year, it means everything. So please give. It's super easy, super simple, doesn't cost much. Snap a picture, throw it on the internet, put hashtag Elf on a Shelf Warmer, and if I see it, I'll reshare it. So please, help out a kid. It's super important. Okay, guess what? Actually, no. I'm not jumping to good news. This is another edit point. So, and I'm losing my voice too. So let me take a swig. So I'm going to completely restart that part here. So we're starting off with sad news this week. Morgan Lofting, who is Moonracer, Firestar in Transformers, and Baroness in G.I. Joe, passed away at age 84. This is like the number one thing I saw on Blue Sky this weekend. It's really, really sad. She had, quite a career, touched a lot of people, and I really hate to hear that.
She was just at a convention. I want to say it was TFcon LA or something relatively recently, and it's just stunning because I said this on Twitter, the Baroness's voice will live rent free in my head forever because it was this vaguely European.
Was that her real voice?
No, I think she said in an interview many years ago, she just took all of again, if I'm wrong, I do apologize, but she just wanted to make all the femme fatale, the Bonds, the Bond spy girls, the bad agents and all that, and just make this over the top kind of vaguely Eastern European, character, and it's just a voice that sticks with you for forever. And also with her being Moonracer and Firestar in The Search for Alpha Trion was the first episode that we saw female Autobots. So
they're female Transformers in general.
Yeah. So, it was definitely a landmark episode in terms of what it showed, what it would build the foundation of for stuff later on. But her impact on both series really cannot be underestimated.
Did you ever meet her, Don?
Again, they've all run together at this point. I think I was in one of her panels, but the line was so long to ask a question. I decided just to sit down and let everyone else have their turn because the line was already halfway back to the back of the room. So never got to meet her. Just have heard good things about her through the years, so that's a terrible loss for both fandoms and, of course, her family and stuff.
Yeah. So which episode was it of G.I. Joe? Wasn't Springfield? It was the one where was it Wheeler or the alternate universe one?
Oh yeah,
That's the episode that I always think about. With her.
where she's like the double agent. Yeah, I can't. What is that's? I gotta look up what that title is. It's Mirror Mirror G.I. Joe, and I have no idea what it.
Wait,
what
was it Breaker? I think I said Wheeler. Wheeler's from
Breaker.
Like,
yeah,
Breaker.
it was.
Yeah, I said
Grunt, Breaker, and
Wheeler's from Captain Planet, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just forget I said that. But that's like the episode that I always think about because, of course, again, it flips the script. She's the good guy, and whenever I think of her voice, that is the episode that I think of.
Okay, so I'm a little confused here. Are you saying that Captain Planet and the Planeteers is the G.I. Joe alternate universe, Brian?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Worlds Without End. Is
Worlds
the name
Without.
of it.
Okay. Yes.
Worlds Without End. Yeah.
I do not know my G.I. Joe episode titles.
I don't either. That's why I had to look it up.
I can't. I think I can tell you maybe 2 episode titles, and like Mass Device is like 3 of them. So okay. So leaks, rumors for 2025, and JT Prime verified at least horrible. What is so? What was leaked in this?
Oh, let me pull it up. I'm in the wrong tab group. Okay, so we have a screen cap from a Discord server, but I don't know which one. I'm not part of it, but it was posted on TFW's board. So, RecR39 is reporting that Hasbro has a multi-year deal with the NFL, and they're certainly going to use it. So, Project Sports looks like it's going to be an ongoing thing to do some kind of crossover coverage of various NFL teams.
Could NFL Super Pro show up in Marvel Legends?
Sure, why not?
We'll get him before Jack of Hearts. So yeah,
That would be.
So
I will buy that. Yeah, please, seriously, I will buy that. Go
You
ahead.
need a G.I. Joe classified Captain Gridiron to go along with him.
That's true.
We also
And
need
a,
a Viper,
and a
but that's-
refrigerator pair.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. And the unproduced Rocky Balboa figure.
Yeah. Hey, so like, haven't we? Oh, like Captain Rufus is saying, it's almost 2025 in the Discord, tfradio.net/Discord. Haven't we had most of 2025 spoiled already? What is there left to spoil?
Well, exclusive stuff like this, I guess.
So what's the exclusive stuff that we'll see, or supposedly?
Well, I mean, the collaborative crossover stuff goes to usually the off channels, not usually like mass retail. We have some more information on the select G2 Dinobots that we'd heard about a while back. So that's going to be a 2-pack of Slag and Snarl,
A 2-pack of leaders.
And
seriously,
which completes the trio of Dinobots that was actually released in the G2 toy line.
So do we know where this is going yet, or just that it exists?
Selects.
It selects.
So it'll be going to Pulse and Big Bad Toy Store,
Yeah,
and
online
Entertainment
retailers.
Earth.
we're getting Blue
And
Grimlock.
Ollie's.
We're getting
Yes.
Blue Grimlock, aren't we?
We are getting a
Which is-
G2. We're getting another G2 Grimlock besides the one that was in the Toxitron
Yeah.
collection.
Yeah,
We're assuming it's going to be blue.
could be turquoise.
It could.
We have got to get Swoop and Sludge. We have got to get them for the full set.
I would think that would be a harder sell for anybody to actually pick up, since those concept art only and a 2-pack of leaders on top of that. Like Toxitron Collection Grimlock itself as a single release did not sell very well.
He went to clearance, $37 at Walmart
or less.
or less.
Yeah. I will see what I can do about that 2-pack.
Okay, well, yeah.
So part of Target's, what we're thinking is Target's next multi-pack for 2025 is going to be Transformers Animated Nemesis Prime. So that gets to buy that mold one more time. And Horrible, which is said to be made from Titan's Return Skull Cruncher. Which has been what everybody's expected that to be all along. And people have done customs of that for years now. And like it basically works. I think Hey Mickey did one.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah. Hey Mickey does a lot of custom work of varying degrees of extensiveness. So like after a while, it's hard to keep up with what he's done already and not. But like, if I remember right, he concept modeled that pretty thoroughly. So I have high confidence this can work. Um, the Micronus Prime from the Age of the Primes line is going to be inspired by the appearance in Robots in Disguise 2015. He had some prominence there in the first and a little bit of the second season, basically being a dick to Optimus Prime. Um, Unfortunately, as we probably all suspected, Vector Prime from Legacy United is the new Vector Prime for the 13 Primes thing. So
This could be that could be the Gold Deco.
no, it's just the one that came out this year is going to be the
Just
Vector
a package
Prime,
refresh.
if even that.
Oh,
If even that, it would have to be a package refresh, would it not?
Yeah, I don't like this is saying specifically Vector Prime from United is our new version of him. So like this isn't even
Okay.
necessarily referencing.
It's like,
that.
hey, we're releasing 12 primes. You already have one. Congratulations.
It's like Metroplex all over again. But Nemesis Prime, like Blade said in the chat, tfradio.net/discord, Nemesis animated Optimus. We've already got the Motormaster.
That's not Nemesis Prime,
It's not
though.
the same, but I'm just saying. I don't know. It just seems
If
like
you see the Digibashed on, it makes sense.
Yeah,
It does not
it
look like
looks
the
good.
Motormaster. It looks pretty damn good.
It looks good in those colors, yeah.
And yes, and people now
I'll buy it.
expect a Nemesis Prime out of a Prime mold. It's just
in everything.
yeah.
in everything.
Yeah.
Have done for years.
Yeah.
And then just vague assurances that the next HasLab for Transformers will be in the spring.
Okay.
No hints or insights as to what the subject matter might be.
I really think it's going to be earlier than spring, but I could be totally wrong. That's just my gut feeling.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Chris?
No, that's all that's worth covering in there.
Probably the coolest news item of the week, though, is we've got to see, I guess these are prototypes or samples or whatever, missing Link, Sunstreaker, and Cordon with Diaclone drivers.
Colors. Yes,
that is so cool.
Yeah, doing like the Diaclone driver stuff. They're partly metal and partly real. They magnet with the figures. Like they're proper little Diaclone drivers in there.
Yeah, I am super stoked about this. I
pre-ordered Sunstreaker this afternoon. Yeah.
I pre-ordered both.
At $80 to $90 each, I can't justify doing both. Certainly not both at once, but like Sunstreaker is pushing my buttons, and like he tasks me, and I will have him.
Nah.
And I really don't have any attachment to Cordon. I've got the masterpiece, and I've got the mainline version, so it's like I'm good for that character.
So even though it's not a G1 mold, it looks like a G1 mold, but it's not. I'm going to buy it because if there's a repaint of a G1 toy, I'm going to get it. And yeah, it looks really slick.
And so long as I don't have to like jump through too many hoops or pay too much extra, like I will double dip for spin out whenever that ends up turning up for pre-order or whatever. Like with the Diaclone stuff they're doing with this, I can't imagine they wouldn't do the other Diaclone deco of this mold family. Like it would be so weird to omit that at the last step.
When are these coming out? July, something like that?
Yeah,
early summer next year.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Which unfortunately means that would be timed pretty well for like a Tokyo Toy Show exclusive spin out, for instance.
Well, I got this exclusive Nemesis Prime basically at the cost that it was at the convention. So, not Nemesis Prime, Sentinel Prime.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a Nemesis Prime too, but yeah.
Yeah.
The movie one.
Let's see here. So, more leaks from Age of the Primes. It's Red Alert, but in test shot colors, still no head.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I like it less, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
The colors are laid out nicely. They pop.
But it's really Vector Prime. It's like if you've got the
excited, yeah.
If you've got the original, you really don't need them. I still bought it because it was on sale for a really good price. But generally, I mean, if you have the first red alert, do you need this one?
Well, when did the first red alert come out?
Yeah, I was going to say
2003.
there are probably
Yeah.
people listening right now who were not born when that toy came
No,
out.
that's true.
So,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, I think it's perfectly fine to do another one of this,
Yeah.
due
And
to
if
the
you
age.
have the Commander class Armada Prime and the Deluxe class Hotshot, you're probably going to want Red Alert to go along with it.
Yeah.
That's true.
And the Star Screamer too, yeah.
That's
I
true.
think Matt just sold me on it. Okay, I'll buy it.
Like you needed the help.
So what about this Bump of Chicken Earthrise Optimus Prime? You going to buy that?
I love it. If I could get it at a decent price, yeah, I'm really into this. It's just so wacky. The color, because the Bumper Prime, the colors are, some red, some blue, some green, some yellow. It's just a mishmash, and I'm down for that.
What's the closest analog to this?
As in
Like the appearance, like Jeffrey Prime or something
Yeah,
else?
that's what I was thinking.
yeah.
I mean that's a little
probably.
bit more put together than this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Action Master Thundercracker.
Hey, yeah.
This is one of those pieces where it looks like someone painted it themselves or just chose the color palette. Like, I'm not going to make the arms the same color,
Wasn't
at least the thighs and stuff are the same color, but it's just wacky, and I'm that's okay every once in a while.
What are you saying, Rob?
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, wasn't there like a coloring contest?
Yes, that's
figure?
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It was what was it coloring? Was it it was Japanese, and I can't remember which series it was for. Was it like TV Magazine or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I don't remember which figure it was. It might have been Armada Prime.
Was it? And it ended up being a lucky draw or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think like the winner got a figure of their
Yes.
Of their color scheme, and I don't know if anybody else ever, I don't know if it was available for anyone else.
Yeah,
My suspicion with this is that there's 4 members in Bump of Chicken, and probably there is one color on here to represent each of them. So the blue, yellow, orange, and green probably each represent one of the band
makes
members.
me like it less.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make
think
sense because the light blue kind of matches
The Bumblebee.
Yeah, which was like specifically tied to one member,
Yeah.
Chama, I believe was the name.
Yeah, I kind of want this though. Really.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
It's not, for what it is, it's not terribly unreasonable. Apparently it is 7,000 yen, which is about $47 according to this at the current exchange rates. So
But you have to order it through Bump of Chicken's website, and good luck getting them to ship outside Japan.
yeah.
I think it will be like leftover stock will be made available to certain retailers if there's anything left after their
The
tour.
Bump of Chicken Bumblebee shows up on Mandarake all the time, and it's cheap.
Shows
Really?
up on Surigaya relatively inexpensively too. I did finally get one.
I almost bought one last week for $30. It would be like my 5th.
I think I managed one for 25 at one point. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those commanded a high price initially, but yeah, the supply started to bubble up after people in Japan started selling them on.
It's one of those things. If I see it cheap, I'll buy it to resell in a couple of years when people decide they want it again.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just the straight blue one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Titan's Return mold.
In our Discord, tfradio.net/Discord, Blade Raider said, this has just as much fiction as some of the 13 primes.
More, possibly.
Yeah, more possibly. Yeah, so that's funny.
Yeah, I
Totally.
forgot it does show up in the Studio Trigger anniversary film. So.
Yeah.
Quite prominently, actually. Well, Bump of Chicken did the song for that, so that's why.
That makes sense.
What do we think about this packaging and stock photos for Omega Prime from the HasLab?
Don?
I love it. It's the artwork is like, I'm here, I'm back, I'm in your face, and I am glorious.
It's not my
mean,
face because I didn't buy one.
This
Right.
is just absolutely the artwork. Unfortunately, I will say, gives me kind of a Dreamwave kind of vibe.
I don't think you remember what Dreamwave looks like, Don.
Well, no, it's
Yeah.
not that. It's just
This
Well,
does
it's-
look like an overinflated balloon.
Right.
Yeah, it's the forced perspective on the arms
Yeah.
that I think is giving me that
Yeah.
vibe.
yeah, like how they would do the legs on
Mhm.
like Liefeld never drew feet, and Dreamwave like always had the legs like going towards the viewer. So that's kind of what I meant, Rob. Thank you for clarifying that. It's more like just the forced perspective, like he's getting ready to double kidney punch you or something.
When is this shipping?
Should
Well, if they
be-
got the packaging, done up for stock photos, like it's probably not going to be too much longer.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it looks, yeah, I get why people who thought, I have the original, I don't need the new one, or it's too much like the original, whatever the case may be. But the original, for all its wonderful qualities, is not the sturdiest combiner. And if they can do what they've done to add some weight, add some stability, I think this will be an absolutely gorgeous piece on anybody's shelves. I've got 3.
It'll look great in my storage unit, buried under 50 other things.
I am.
Actually, you know what the package art reminds me of? So, more than anything, looking at it is Megas XLR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. But it's just the figures look great. I hope there's some kind of fiction because supposedly
Yeah, it's called
Bolts-
Robots in the Skies. It came out in 2001.
I mean, like for Blue Bolts,
Car
is,
Robots came out in 2000.
That's
yeah.
true.
what I'm saying is that Blue Bolts may or may not be tie. So there's some speculation about that based on some of the information that's being out. So, but again, I think it looks great. I am so glad I got them. If you didn't, I understand why, but I think you're going to be missing out.
Okay.
The only thing I feel like I'm missing out on with this is the Blue Bolts weaponizer. Like, that's a cool concept to me. I wish I could get that by itself.
Yes,
but, like,
that was the only part that tempted me.
I absolutely do not need remade versions of those two toys at 15% bigger scale than the originals.
And I will never pay HasLab prices for an Optimus Prime or a Megatron. I just won't. It's a personal thing.
Well, I understand, but I mean, that's my favorite Optimus.
We know.
And
We are very well aware of that.
just in case you had not made the point,
I mean, in 2000 and 2001, Fire Convoy was very competitive with Laser Optimus Prime for like the best Transformers toy in ATT's awards show that I'm not going to say the name of anymore because now it's a slur.
Okay, so in-hand photos of missing Link Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, which we'll talk more about later, and dramatic Capture Autobot 3-pack. I'm regretting kinda not getting the dramatic capture because I want the blue feet on Mainframe.
Mainframe does look really good.
He does.
I just couldn't see getting all these figures again, and it's like another Jazz. And
Well, that's the problem, yes.
I mean, if it had been anyone other than that Jazz, I might would have been tempted because I mean, but it's just
It's that Jazz, and it's in clear plastic again. Like, we've learned nothing.
yeah, and it's that Optimus again, which
With
they just
the white pelvis and thighs, so like if you like your Studio Series 86 colors, there you go. You have that on this mold now too.
Right.
But
yeah,
Yeah.
I do wish I could have got that mainframe and swapped it out with the mainframe that came with the ARC. But if Hoppy Toads had wings, they wouldn't bust their butt. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's that.
I am 100% getting this just for Mainframe.
I'm
I
tempted.
I don't know what I'm going to do with the other toys. I don't care. I just
I pre-ordered it for Mainframe and for the Prime because just like I said, I have a better opinion of it when we saw those first photos. But like we saw the first photos of Studio Series Prime the same time this went up for pre-order, and I was not feeling those photos, so I went for this. And since I have a kitted out non-F trailer to go with it, I don't particularly see myself feeling too much regret on that. I'll probably get the 86 mold when it gets released individually without a trailer sometime down the road.
yeah,
Let's see here. Killer Body, G1 Optimus Prime, wearable, removable, armor, helmet, sample images. I hate it.
This is the same outfit that did the Rise of the Beast Mirage wearable, removable, presumably armor helmet a while back. That was very expensive. This is going to be very expensive too. We don't have a specific price, but since it's exactly the same kind of product, it's going to be very expensive. I also kind of hate that it has a removable faceplate and the face underneath it is not from Marvel G1.
Yes.
Although that was Power Master, so maybe it had a different face under the.
I don't know. Just like it's very stylized, and they take
It's
liberty.
extremely over detailed.
It's over detailed. For somebody out there, this is their jam, and they love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel that for most people, it would probably turn them off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one that came out that Diecast has, and I may have, is probably a little more people's cups of tea.
Yeah. It's
So that's the icon hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hollywood icons or something.
whatever they call
Wait.
it. It's
I
It's
can
good.
never remember the correct name for that.
I think it's Icon Heroes because
Okay.
Hollywood Icons is the diecast vehicles. I think.
Got you. Okay, yeah, the
Yeah.
Icon Heroes. I think that one's probably a little better, also cheaper. So I don't know.
This
Just
could look really cool if somebody built a costume to go under it, but yeah, I think on its own, I wouldn't see any need for it.
I mean, I like the fact that the faceplate's removable, but I don't like what's under it.
It's also got some kind of like voice changer gimmick or something, I think.
Okay.
unless it makes me sound 100% like the Optimus Prime.
No,
I
it's
don't-
probably gonna be like the helmet from the first movie toy line.
Yeah, it's got to be like a really high quality voice changer for me to be excited about it. Especially with what the price that this is probably going to be. I would expect nothing but high quality. If they put like a cheap voice changer in it that you could find in a, $30 toy, I'd be disappointed. Not that I'm buying this anyway, but I'm just.
I mean, if anybody here was going to buy this, I would expect it to be you.
Yeah, 100%. So if anybody on the show is going to buy this, you would expect it to be me. It's another piece of silver with transformer shape. New Zealand Mint has released a new 40th anniversary G1 Bumblebee silver coin. Looks like it's also one of those painted ones. It's 999 fine silver. It's 1 troy ounce.
It's a $2 silver piece that they're selling for $120.
Well, I mean, it's a $2 New Zealand,
that's
like whatever. It's $30 of silver that they're selling for $120. Hey, if you want to buy some silver, briankilby.com/silver. That still works, and you can still buy it, and they'll ship it to you each month, and you don't have to do anything other than pay for it. It's a great deal.
I never really would have expected the Silver of the Month Club to be a thing, but like,
well, so it's a real thing that takes you to the Constitutional Crate. It's the not Loot Crate. I forget, but I'm subscribed to it, and they'll send you like U.S. currency that's 90% silver. They just ship it to you. It's great. I can't believe I actually plugged that on the show, but briankilby.com/silver. It's Christmas. I could use the money. Yeah, that's an ad.
I'm starting to think that 50% of New Zealand's GDP comes from coins, because I've never heard of anything else coming out of New Zealand that's worth anything except all these
freedom
coins.
They got freedom. That's something that people like.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, but that's not going to help your GDP.
Sure it is. People move there for the freedom. So, yeah, I don't know. I like the look of it. I'm not going to pay $120 for it, I don't think. Haven't bought any of these like Transformers 1 silver deals or whatever. If somebody wanted to get it for me for Christmas, I might tell my wife to get that for me. But like, I'm not going to do it myself. I have like the silver dollar and the quarter. That's like the only silver stuff I've purchased. That's Transformers themed anyway. Okay, let's jump to what we got this week, and I want to start with John. because
Ooh, why is that, Brian?
I'm very jealous because you got something that I won't have for another couple of weeks because Amazon Japan doesn't love me.
Does
the
Amazon
nation
Japan love
loves you.
anybody, Brian?
I don't know.
Yeah, the nation of Japan. Don't get the two mixed up.
So I was looking. Apparently, Japan is like the number 2 territory in the world that listens to Radio Free Cybertron.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Thank you, Japan.
Thank you, Japan. We love you, Japan.
Domo arigato.
Yeah.
All right, there goes
So-
half of our audience in Japan.
So,
Offended.
so you got the Missing Link, Bumblebee, and Cliffjumper, right?
I did. So I got those actually a couple days ago now. So I got them probably as fast as anybody from Amazon Japan. And so I'll start off by saying like almost forgot they were a thing because the pre-orders were a while back, and I knew mentally that they would come in retro boxes and closed box Japanese style releases. And I've certainly had the G1 molds pass through my hands over the decades, but I was still taken aback by how small these guys are. And the boxes are small. It's like, I don't know, smaller than a deck of cards, like the size of a micro PC mouse. I don't know. They're tiny. It's tiny. They're tiny. But they're perfect. They're awesome. I love them.
I love the way they look.
They continue to create like this cognitive dissonance in your head because G1 molds are not supposed to do this. Like they're not, they don't move like this.
Optimus Prime messed with me because
Yeah.
you can play with it as if it's the G1 toy without doing the extra articulation, but then you turn the arm like this way and it's like it blows your mind.
Yes. These guys have shoulder articulation. They have knees. They have ankles. They have ankle rockers, which of course they would in 2024. Neck articulation, elbows.
Where's the neck? How do they have a neck?
Well, I mean, they don't have a. Well, yeah, they do have a neck in that. It turns.
But the original
it
toy,
swivels.
it's a hinge. That's what it is.
Yeah, true. Yes. And this is a hinge as well.
Oh, that's crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. Now, as far as like construction quality, that was one thing that I was a little iffy on. Like, is this going to be at their size? Could this possibly be as sturdy and relatively robust like Optimus was? And I think they are. I think the shoulders have 1, 2, 3. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 4 points of hinging, like at least 4 points of either a hinge or a swivel. And again, it's a tiny space. But it doesn't feel like they're going to snap. They're a little bit wobbly. They don't completely just like lock into place, which is probably for the best.
Yeah.
You don't want to put that kind of stress on them, but they can hold, for the most part, they hold their own weight. They support the accessories that they have. They have, blasters, and Cliffjumper has his cannon. And they hold them up. Of course, I have not applied them, but the best part of the entire package is the box art insignias that they come with. I don't know if how those are going to look in practice on the chest because they are massive. They're huge. They're the super like deformed Autobot symbols from the packaging. They look great. They're awesome. But they are gigantic. I think they'll effectively cover like their entire chest if you put them on. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or not, but
That's
I love
why you
that
buy a second one to apply that stuff.
I love that.
yeah.
Yes, I love that they exist. Transformation is pretty straightforward. Again, it does like kind of blow your mind. Unlike Optimus, so just like you were saying, Brian, you can basically treat Missing Link Optimus as G1 Optimus if you want to, including the transformation, like discounting the hands. He's just G1 Optimus. These guys are different. There's more involved. It's not bad. It's just a product of very articulated hands, shoulders, elbows, knees and toes. So there's just more to it. It's not like that 5-second transformation that the G1 toys had. But
I was hoping that it would be that you pull the legs down, pull the
No,
arms
yeah.
out, flip the head up.
Not quite. I mean, fundamentally, yes, but there's just so much articulation in such a small space, that even though, like, yes, that is in theory how they still work. Just a little bit more involved. I would say the lower body is much more successful at just being the G1 toy. When you transform it, the arms have a little bit more going on, just because there's a lot more articulation.
How do they transform differently? Do the arms fold in? Like
Yeah,
their
there's just a little bit more folding in of the shoulders. Again, it's not much. It's just not, the what?
It's not pure G1.
3 steps, yeah, of like the G1 toys. And really, I think mostly that's just a product of if you pose them, if you're kind of have them in a dynamic pose and you've got them kind of like doing stuff and you want to just really quickly transform them, there's some folding, you got to kind of get everything kind of aligned a little bit, especially with the shoulders. Not a big deal. You're still going to be able to transform it in 15 seconds, 10 seconds. So there's no complaints there. I like them so much. And I'm not even going to talk about the price, because the price, sure, they're like what, $40, something like that, $45, whatever it was. Landed cost. It is what it is. So just speaking about the toy in and of itself, I really like them. I like them so much. I want to see more mini bots, obviously, like as many as they can do, because they're awesome. It almost makes me worried for Sunstreaker, just because the first 3 releases here have set the bar really high.
Yeah. And
they're great. So Optimus was like, again, like he defies all logic, and these guys are just great, just perfect little toys. It makes me a little bit cautious about, like, is Sunstreaker gonna meet expectations? Because now all of a sudden we have expectations. I would say all of a sudden with these 3 now, like, this is starting to look like a collection. And the first 3 have been like super, super strong releases. If highly recommended.
If it were up to me, this podcast would be Radio Free Missing Link. No joke. So
I think the one that we really need to worry about for what you're talking about, John, is going to be when they finish engineering and release RC.
Interesting. Yeah, sure.
Looking at it, I don't feel worried about how Sunstreaker is going to turn out.
Yeah, me neither.
But like, RC is going to be such a, for want of a better word, experimental project in this line. I think that's the one that's going to be the like watershed point where either Missing Link is going to find its feet and it can do anything, or it's going to learn its limits real damn fast.
Yeah. So I won't have mine until the Christmas episode. And now that I look at it, like, Christmas is a Wednesday. Do we want to record on Tuesday? Or do we want to get together on Wednesday?
Whatever.
So, but I'll have for the Christmas episode, I'll be able to comment on these, and that's the Christmas gift that I want. It's Missing Link.
They're great. In summation, yeah, love them.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to rub symbols, always a plus.
Yeah,
they have them on the bottom, on the bottom of their feet,
where they should be,
which is neat, as they should be. So it's great. They hit all the marks on these guys once again.
Hey, John, is there any difference in the transformation on the figures? I didn't think there would be, but I know Cliffjumper comes with like the big gun and stuff, so I didn't know whether there was anything possibly different about them.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly don't store their weapons. Fundamentally, there is no difference in how they transform. It's just that they're a little bit more fiddly because they're so articulated. So you just have to get everything kind of positioned just right. But if you do, then the transformation is effectively the same. Everything just kind of comes into place, three or 4 steps at most. It's just, again, like, I'm just stressing, like, they are like shockingly articulated, like from the shoulders out. There's just so much going on. And I'm again mostly impressed that it doesn't feel like they're just going to shatter in your hand. Yeah, they're really well constructed.
Yeah, because I was debating on keeping my pre-orders or not. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to put that much money into 2 small little mini bots, but
yeah, you do.
Yeah,
right, you do.
Yeah, you do. These you do.
I'm waiting for the G2 versions.
Oh man, how big is this line going to get? I keep forgetting, like,
it's possible we could.
Oh man,
we could be looking at an entire relaunch of the original G1 line.
It's not going to happen, but it'd be great.
No, they said they're not going to limit themselves to car robots.
No, and besides that, like molds they have, they're going to recolor as many times as possible, and
Yes.
G2 is a
Oh, yeah.
really strong candidate for that.
Yeah.
I
So we're
think.
going to be re-seeing the relaunch of the G1 line.
Okay, yeah, in that sense, I guess so.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Anything else, John?
Nope, not on topic.
Diecast. Anything on topic?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Remember, he
They're
wasn't here
comfortable.
last week.
Oh
So then,
yeah.
folks,
I got
Cloud cover.
Cloudcover. Yeah, I couldn't think of the
Finally?
name.
It started
No,
showing up at Ross.
Oh.
exactly. And I got, just because I love this Seeker mold in particular, I got a second one because I don't think I ever took my first one out of the box. So the only thing I can say, like, with the cone heads, the heads seem a little bit too small just because they have to fit in the
Mhm.
cone of the jet. So I would have liked the head to be a little bit bigger, but other than that, again, it's such a great mold that I
and the
hope
colors look
they-
great. And the colors look great.
Yeah, the colors look great. I hope they do more of this mold. I want other characters.
And I remember the deluxe classics cone heads having basically the same problem with the proportions.
Yeah, and I think we got more of that Megatron than we've gotten of these jets. It might be close, but I think Megatron still may come out on top. So I
Megatron.
think
That's
Yeah.
that's an interesting race to watch for sure.
yeah, I
No,
think
no,
the
it's
Jets
not.
should
With
win.
With the Classics Deluxe, it didn't fit into a nose cone. It just had a shorter nose cone because it was the head.
Yeah. And then I also got Dr. Wu, their little Megatron. Great little figure. Dr. Wu always impresses me with their little guys. And then the last thing that I got two more things. One is Fans Toys Ultra Magnus. He's beautiful. He is absolutely everything I would want a Masterpiece Ultra Magnus to be. Super clean. Has the Matrix inside because obviously this is the one where it's the full white robot, which is basically the same as Optimus Prime. And then Magnus, all the armor, becomes Ultra Magnus. Just really super nice. I haven't had a chance to transform it, but it is beautiful. Probably the best proportioned Ultra Magnus that I've seen, and feels super solid. So just an absolute great figure.
Diecast, do you think you'll ever be able to do a review versus or something between that and the Masterpiece? Because
Yeah,
I've got Masterpiece Magnus and I think he's fine. I've just never.
Masterpiece Magnus compared to that feels huge.
Some people like that though.
Yeah. I mean, I think Masterpiece Magnus, that's his biggest downfalls. It's just way too big. And looks out of scale for me. But yeah, I don't know, because of that traveling and stuff before the holiday. I don't know that I'll get anything up, to be honest. And then the last thing I got, Don, you'll be proud. I did some Dononomics on it.
Okay.
That
Well, you all should be doing Dononomics, but that's beside the point.
well, I don't do it on everything, and this was an accidental Dononomics, but the G1 toy Optimus Prime that Walmart's been selling was on sale for like $52.
Yeah.
And I previously, like a week and a half ago, I got a new freezer for the garage. Well, it came all beat up. And Walmart's like, the only thing we can do for you is exchange it or give you a $25 gift card. And I'm like, you know what? It's in the garage. Yeah, it's beat up, but I don't feel like them shipping me another one and it coming damaged again.
Yeah,
I
the
was
juice
just like,
the juice wasn't worth a squeeze.
yeah, I'm like, just give me the $25 if that's the best you can do. So that had to be used in 90 days. So I used it on that Prime. And
Oh,
then
wow.
I had a little bit of Walmart money too. So I only paid like $20 for it.
I mean, that's a gorgeous figure. I mean, even if I haven't even taken him out of the box because he just looks so good in that packaging. I've got one to open. I just haven't got around to it yet. But
when it hits $25, I'll buy 15 of them.
Yeah, it's my box came a little crushed in the corner, and I was actually like debating, should I order another one or should I just deal with it? And I think I'm just gonna deal with it
because you can do
Yeah,
with it.
because
yeah.
I can.
Yeah. You know, it'd be better if we actually didn't play into that once. Or I can live with it. Okay, so anything else, Diecast?
No, I think that's it. I mean, all the Blokees stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got 2
You're
waves.
posting plenty of that on Twitter and Blue Sky,
and
right?
Blue Sky, yeah, 2 waves of Blokees so far. There's 4 waves at G1. If you don't count the ones that light up or the Golden Lagoon wave, there is like a Golden Lagoon wave out there. But you can actually pick them up on. What I've been doing is I pick them up on AliExpress for like they're roughly around with shipping and everything like $40 a box. But you're guaranteed one of every character because they ship you a full box. And then you either get a regular one or you get the chase version of whatever the regular figure is. So you don't have to worry about the blind box thing because I hate blind boxes, but I think they're a really good because you get 9 for like $40 if you get a case. And they're fun to build. They're kind of addicting to build, and they look great. And it's just really amazing how many pieces are the same, yet the bots still look different. Like, I think they did a really nice job with those figures, and the engineering on them is super smart. The Mirage, which I was kind of down on for $30, I actually found out that's supposed to be roughly a $14 price. So that's why the price point was a little out of whack. And still I still enjoy the G1s, the cheaper ones better. Don, I think you just held one up. Which one was that? Was that Smokescreen?
Yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this from Rick Alvarez at TFcon in Baltimore. You know, I just realized who these remind me of. Now that you were saying that, Diecast, Superhero Squad from a couple of years ago from Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is who they remind me of.
Well, they're really good figures.
That's the Transformers cartoon they should make next is Transformers Superhero Squad because that was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have 2 out of the 4. The other 2 are on their way. And then I may circle back and get the Golden Lagoon box set and maybe some other ones. I don't know, but they're pretty decent. I definitely recommend getting the boxes if you want the whole collection.
Cool. That it?
Yep, that's it.
Matt?
Nothing.
Don?
Nothing on topic.
Okay. Rob?
Just one thing on topic. The light up replica matrix for Transformers 1 came back in stock at Amazon at some point. So I got that. And for like I think $15 it ran me. That is a really nice toy.
Oh, the costume one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they canceled my order. It'd be nice if they'd say, hey, this thing we canceled, you still want it?
Yeah, well, it is thanks to the Discord, tfradio.net/Discord, that I knew this was back in stock and managed to grab one. So
yeah, I noticed it one day. I had it saved to on my shopping list, and I posted the link as soon as I saw it go back up.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, because I did manage to get one, and I like it.
Cool. Chris, did you get anything?
Not this week.
Got one thing. And I hate that I don't have the rest of them handy. They're in storage. But I did get the last G2 Orange Constructicon I needed, which is Scrapper.
Oh, awesome.
So whenever I'm able to get back into my storage unit and dig them out, I will have an orange G2 Devastator.
As you should.
As I
I'm
should.
almost afraid to ask, but what do those go for now?
Scrapper is the hardest one to get, it looks like.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why. And I got him loose without accessories, which I already had them. I don't need them.
Mhm.
For like $60.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
man.
Yeah, they're not cheap. So
Just picturing that like 2 for $5 KB price tag in my mind. I
yes.
never could find the orange ones. They never had a complete set of them.
Oh,
So I bought the entire G2 Devastator in parts, mostly complete, but not completely complete. But I had extra G2 Devastator combiner bits. I probably paid $250 for all 6 over the course of a year. So, but yeah. So now the only Devastator I don't have is Diaclone, which I would love to have. Let's jump to off-topic / ham sandwiches, which of course is exclusive for patrons at patreon.com/tfradio. I'll start first. I got the cartoon Masters of the Universe Orange She-Ra. Like Don.
Good, you got one.
Yeah, so $17.
Yeah, that's a really Origins is usually not my thing, but that's a really good looking figure.
Yeah, and I don't normally talk about video games, but this was literally sitting underneath She-Ra, and I have no idea where my PS5 is, but I did get Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 5.
Nice.
Black Friday at Walmart for $30. Diecast, did you get anything?
I did not.
Wow, Matt.
No, nothing.
Don?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. My second Tryon 3 came this week. So
how many more are on the way?
No more. No more. It's because I had this on pre-order, I didn't wind up getting a 4th Optimus. But
Well, that makes sense.
yeah, perfect sense. But now I've got a second set to open and display the individual Gundams, or just leaving the box in case something happens to my original. Because we all know that some of these SOCs really go for a bad aftermarket price, and I would rather not do that if I don't have to.
Also, Don, be mindful with the diecast parts on there, because I saw some pictures floating around of like the
Some paint chipping.
yeah, like on the bottoms of the feet in particular, from apparently not even any kind of rough handling. Just
Yeah, I saw
you
those
know,
as well. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm planning on putting mine. Right now, he's just sort of he's under a not a sheet, but he's under a shirt to keep Hank. Well, you got lots of little pointy bits, and Hank likes to chew on things that like corners of boxes and edges and stuff like that. So whenever I get an actual shelf done, he'll be going downstairs, out of the reach of Hank. Thanks to Spencer Wild off of Twitter, he got 2 dragonflies. Did not need the second set of figures. Gave me first choice of who I wanted, and I got Glenda and Wild Bill from him. So very
Wild
happy.
Bill's hard to get.
Yeah, well, see, I figured it'd be easier just to get, because the other 2 characters really, like for you, Brian, crazy. Was it Crazy Legs? Crazy Legs.
Crazy legs.
Crazy legs.
Yeah. That's not the deco that I associate with the character, and the other one was blanking who the 4th person was, but it wasn't Glenda. I don't really know who she is for the most part, but it's a Lady Joe, and we always need more Lady Joes. And Wild Bill is just one of my personal favorites, even if the Dragonfly is not one of my favorite vehicles. But glad I got those 2. Last thing I got, thanks to a Black Friday sale over at Valaverse. I just came today. It's the Vanguard, which is their first vehicle for their Action Force line, and I got the Muddy Tan version. And the matching missile launcher is going to be here tomorrow. I got them on a pretty good Black Friday sale. And that's all I got on topic this week. Off topic this week.
John?
By the way, it was Ripcord, Don. That was the
okay, thanks.
4th figure. Okay, the only thing I got was so I certainly don't collect everything that Mondo does in the 1/6 scale, because I would be bankrupt. And also, I'm not into like all the random stuff they do, but they do really good stuff. They do really, really, really good stuff. By the way, the Clayface, holy moly, the animated Clayface that they're putting out next year.
I saw that.
Unbelievable.
It is. I saw that.
Unbelievable.
How many pounds of plastic is that going to be?
I don't know how much he weighs, but he has like a skeletal frame inside him, for
Oh,
the
wow.
articulation.
Yeah.
And then just like a solid clay body, so you don't see any joints on him. Super neat. Anyway, what I do collect from them is X-Men animated. So I did get my Cyclops, my limited edition Cyclops in. Whether you love him or hate him, lots of people hate him.
Love him.
I love him. This is my Cyclops. These are my X-Men, as I've said, the animated show, and all these like Generation Alpha and Generation Z kids that have like come around because of X-Men 97. Get out of my space. Get off my lawn. I was here like 25 years ago. So I was here first, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, I haven't opened him yet, but he looks great from the packaging. Mondo does exceptional stuff, and I look forward to opening him in the next day or two. That's all I got.
Yeah, I've got Rogue and Gambit, and I love them.
Yeah, great set.
Chris,
Not this week.
Rob,
Just a couple little things. My last Surgai order was mostly art books and things. I also got the latest version of Shoto Double Cross Kamen Rider V3 because it has an improved sculpt and a couple other, I think, more articulation than the previous one. So I wanted to grab that. I also got the Boss Fight Studios Vitruvian Hacks Advent Calendar from 2020. They have that on clearance on their site for $20, which it comes with a ton of accessories and 2 figures. And any 2 of their figures for $20 and what turned out to be $10 shipping is pretty much a steal. I haven't opened it all yet, but there's just a whole bunch of like 1/18th scale accessories in there, push brooms, cleavers, all kinds of fun nonsense. So, and the figures themselves are pretty decent as well. So I am definitely satisfied with that. Looks like it was originally like $70 or $80. So yeah, definitely for 20, I think it's a good deal. But I think that is everything I got off topic this week. Most stuff I have is still in transit. So
Chris.
No, you asked me already, not this week.
Oh, well, okay. Hey, one of our listeners,
just to reinforce the point, yeah.
one of our listeners, Matthew Swinson, had emailed us and said, "Hey, you guys on what we got this week talk about toys, but you never talk about the comics. Do you guys read the comic?" And I thought, honestly, what we got this week is really toy centric. I mean, I hate to say
because that's what we buy, right?
It's what we buy. I don't want to say we're strictly a toy podcast, but we've evolved to where we're mostly a toy podcast. Like, we used to have a dedicated comic reviews and episode reviews on every episode, but we've kind of focused in mostly what we love, which is the toys. I don't think any of us are actually reading the comics. I need to change that. I do get review copies of the Skybound stuff, and I need to take better advantage of reading it and reviewing it. I don't know that I want to dedicate time to it on the show. I would rather that live somewhere else, like in a YouTube video or like a dedicated review podcast. But yeah, I don't think any of us are actively reading the Skybound comic currently.
I am, but
you are?
Yeah. So it's awesome. Starscream's incredible.
Everybody loves it. So so
really
by
good.
all accounts, it's fantastic. I just
really
consume so little media other than books, and that's mostly in audiobook form during my commute.
Well, John, we used to have this podcast. You may not remember it. It was called
Get the Skinny?
It was called it was called was it New Skinny or Get the Soundwave? Can't remember which. But yeah,
neither of those are comics. Neither of those are
that was
comics
a-
podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't get the joke.
Okay, no. New Soundwave was originally our catch-all geekery podcast, and then I complained about the comic book stuff and made JD make a spin-off for the comic stuff, so I didn't have to sit there through it every week. And then eventually New Soundwave just turned into the video games podcast. And it was
Oh,
really
okay.
cool. While
It was
John
really
doing
cool and
that.
overproduced and would
Yeah.
get like a trademark hammer from YouTube in 5
Yeah.
seconds now. If I did
Yeah.
it the way I did it 10 years ago.
So we had a dedicated toy podcast, a dedicated toy podcast now, which is basically this, dedicated video game podcast, which is New Soundwave, and the dedicated comic book podcast, which was Fanboy Versus, and that was, I missed that. That was, of course, JD, Chris McFeely, Nicole, Triplet, Peter. No, Peter wasn't on. Peter was on New Soundwave.
He's
wasn't
on
he?
New
New
Soundwave,
Soundwave, yeah.
Yeah.
You had a cast of thousands though, because you had like 12 shows.
Yeah. We had a lot of people and a lot of coverage.
Yeah.
I don't think I have enough emotional support to get reinvested in an ongoing comic book series anymore. I just don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
I've glanced at it. I like the art. The art is generally really good. The story, I don't know, just not landing with me. It is definitely, I don't know. It feels like, well, it is. I'm pretty sure Image publishes Skybound, and it kind of feels to me what you would have gotten if Transformers G2 was a 90s Image comic, and just like very, very focused on a specific kind of violence as spectacle that I'm, I have Fist of the North Star for that. I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very much comparing it to IDW's like lack of physicality does make like a really interesting like dichotomy for sure.
Yeah.
So if you went from reading IDW to this, it's a huge like left turn for sure.
Yeah.
Regarding that.
Definitely so.
Cool. Okay. I want to thank our patrons at patreon.com/TFradio. Patrons of Radio Free Cybertron get an ad-free version of the show. You get the podcast a day early at a higher bit rate with the complete What We Got This Week segment, including the non-Transformers stuff. You get the weekly Patreon exclusive pre-show podcasts. If there are any heavy edits, those will be on Patreon. If you're connected to Discord at tfradio.net/Discord via your Patreon, you get a fancy color. You get There Goes My Money a week early. Patrons at the Touch tier, which is our top tier, get to be on There Goes My Money. And Touch patrons get to be mentioned on the show each week and listed at tfradio.net/credits. And I'll do that now. Kevin Dorsey, Daniel Scott, Jacob Lucia, Sean Bratton, Emmett Stresovich, Hector Bones, Jay Klein Rye, Joey Russell, Here's Why It's Cool, Rabbits, Ryan Bona, Sean Hamilton, Sean Williamson, Spider Bob, Trickster, Nathan's Fast Talk Food Reviews, and Mollis Koenig. Thank you all very much. And if you want to join these esteemed folk, you can go to patreon.com/tfradio. Speaking of Trickster, she had sent a note over on Blue Sky that during last week's show, when I told Dawn that nobody wanted Visionaries, that she out loud in her car said, "That's a lie."
Thank you for having my back, Trickster. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love that. Cool. Okay. You can find all of our stuff at tfradio.net with podcasts going back 25 years. That's a lot. We're also on Twitter at TFRadio, on Facebook at facebook.com/TFRadio, on Instagram at TF Podcasts, on YouTube somewhere, whatever it is. We are also on, we have Twitch too. We actually live stream to all of the platforms that I just mentioned. We started those back and it seems to be working well. You can find me at briankilby.com. I don't know if I'm going to have a Christmas album this year. I have made no progress toward it.
Oh no,
Yeah.
the tradition has died.
Can you
Well,
drop a single? How about
that's
that?
basically what I did last year. I might have to do it this year. This year is like really rough with stuff. Just got bad news about a close family member, so that's probably going to eat up more of my time, but I'll try to drop a single or two. So we'll see.
It just means you have to start on next year's earlier. I'm thinking double album, Brian.
Yeah, that'd be great. Actually, I thought I've been planning on starting on this one like as early as like August, but no, I haven't. I need to get moved.
Also, I will say this is the year of the diss track, with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I know everybody's following that as much as I am, but this is the year of the diss track. So if you have anybody, in your doghouse, Brian, this is the year to record,
That's genius. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah.
It just inspired me
I
to do
mean,
something.
Brian, it might even go tinfoil next year.
I get that reference.
Cool. Okay. And you can also find me at kilby.bsky.social. I've deleted my Twitter. So my personal Twitter, it's gone. And so that's where you need to find me if you want to. We don't have a Radio Free Cybertron Blue Sky, so like my personal one is the closest thing we have to it. So if you want to follow what we're doing on the podcast, you can follow me. Kilby.bsky.social. I'm trying to do what Ant did with tfe.info and have just like a singular one so I don't have to focus on multiple. So Kilby.bsky.social. Rob Springer, not here. He's at Rob Springer on Twitter, at zonebase.org, and at zonebase.bsky.social. And Diecast, how do people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me on Blue Sky and Twitter at Diecast2. They can like my Facebook page at Reviewed by Diecast. They can see my old reviews at tfradio.net/reviews or youtube.com/rfcreviews. And I also have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/diecast list.
Matt.
Melvar.bsky.social. That's with 3 L's and 2 R's.
Don.
I'm reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR. I can be reached on Blue Sky at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.bluesky.social. I have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/donlist.
John.
That John D everywhere, including Blue Sky. So look me up. Except I'm not that John D on eBay. I am Cloudburst on eBay. Subscribe. See what I got. I got the goods. Later this month, I'm going to put another like huge round of stuff on eBay. I'm hitting the other side of the attic. So subscribe. There'll be some good stuff coming.
It's already out. You put it up. Or it's coming.
It's coming. Japanese Transformers.
Message me. Let me know when you post that stuff.
Yeah, okay. Maybe Brian gets a free preview.
Same here, John.
Maybe there's a preview night, like in a dealer room for you guys. But yeah,
Cool.
Just to crew at Radio Free Cybertron.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Rob.
I'm on Blue Sky at robflails.bsky.social. Been a lot of conversation the last day or so because the new Gundam series was just announced and it looks like it's going to be insane. So really looking forward to seeing more about that. And if you have any interest in Gundam and video games, check out youtube.com/@flailthroughs, I think is how that works now. I'm still covering Gundam Battle Operation 2. Last week's mobile suit was the Virulent Custom Unit 2. I got that, and it's pretty good. And if you like what I'm doing over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs, going to be making some changes with the new year to how everything works. And if you just feel like sending me something for the holidays, tfradio.net/playlist is where my Amazon wish list lives, and a little bit of money goes back towards the upkeep of the show if you get anything through there.
Very cool. Chris.
Yes, indeed. It is the holiday season coming up, and if you would like to do a gifting for me, I also have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/chrislist. That's also an Amazon affiliate link, and it helps keep the lights on for the show. As for reaching me on social media, I'm on Blue Sky, ChrisRTXV. I have a website that I haven't updated in a very long time, which I feel increasingly bad about because I just I'd really like to get back into doing the photography thing, but wow, there's a lot of stuff between me and that, literally, physically, but you can find the work I've done before at playwithphotography.com.
Cool. That's it. We will see you next week. Have a good one.
Take care, all.
Recording stopped.
Okay, cool. Hey, people watching live, I'm going to kill the stream. But I got to do it slowly because I have to do it in like 5 different places now. So Twitch, you're easy. Bye. Bye, Twitch. YouTube, you're a little easier than the rest, so I'm telling you goodbye right now. Goodbye.
I forgot to mention I bought a